Justin Hawthorne has been gardening as part of his drug rehabilitation for the last 2 months. Every day he enters the greenhouse, regulates the temperature and water, and turns the plants to face the sun. For Justin, this is the first time he's felt like his life has direction, thriving off the responsibility that he has living things depending on him.
Well, the statistics are if you can look after a plant for a year and it won't die, you can look after a pet. And if you can look after a pet, then you can look after a child. So I believe trying to make something stay alive and put life into it all the time, making sure it's getting the night nutrients and stuff like that, it gives you it gives you a bit of direction, more responsibility, ownership of something, sense of I can complete something and I can do things in life and succeed in some stuff.
Offered as an alternate therapy at his rehab clinic 180TC, it was introduced after Dr. Danuta Chessa conducted a study on the centre, recommending the need for non-traditional therapies.
And they needed to have a bit of alternate therapy, as in music or horticulture or art therapy, and not just talking therapies because they don't suit everybody. The horticulture itself is really useful, that sense of being connected, that nurturing, that the fact that the plants are reliant on them and that they need to be responsible in how they behave in that way. And I think all of that is really powerful.
Most often known as horticultural therapy, it is a field gaining momentum thanks to the support of traditional medicine. The organisation pioneering the therapy is Cultivate New South Wales, who aim to facilitate healing through the participation in gardening activities. Karen Valiantis, who is on Cultivate New South Wales' management committee, says they have the research to prove it works.
So we sit them down before they go out into the garden. We explain a little bit about what's going to happen, and we take a little bit of an anecdote or a gauge on their mood. So it's just a 1 to 10. So 10's feeling really fabulous and 1 is feeling really, really bad. And they'll go into a session and they'll put 3 or 4 as an average, but it can range from 1 to about 8 is my experience in about 7 months of keeping record. And it invariably will go up, 96% of them will go up at least 1 point on the mood and between 1 and 3 points. So often their medication will only do that for them. Will only take them up 1 point, maybe 2.
While the horticultural therapy at 180TC is being conducted independently from Cultivate New South Wales, the results are proving similar, with Justin finding it a cathartic experience which is pivotal to his recovery.
I reckon it does do a lot to get rid of stress. Sitting there in just a greenhouse, just planting away or just touching up things and stuff like that, away from everyone, and just gives you time to think. I reckon it's really good for our recovery, yeah.
The masterminds behind the greenhouse site at 180TC is Not-for-Profit Food Ladder, who aim to engage the disadvantaged through growing healthy produce in an eco and sustainable way. While the therapeutic properties of horticulture are of importance to them, what they are really excited about is giving the participants the skills to get a job once out of rehab.
Engenders a sense of hope in a lot of these guys who have had a background which has been difficult for whatever reason, for them to be able to come out of this experience with the greenhouse and have the opportunity to enter into a career in horticulture. It's something that wasn't available to them before, and that's really exciting.
For Justin, life after rehab now seems hopeful. Staying off drugs and gaining a job now very real possibilities. Olivia Sheed, Eco Sydney.